All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about one of the biggest things that holds pretty much all of us back, fear. And we're going to do it by focusing on one single, super powerful question. A question designed to unlock all those huge life decisions you might be putting on hold.
So here it is. I want you to really think about this for a second. Let it sink in. What would you do if fear just wasn't part of the equation? This question, well, it's the key to this entire explainer, so keep it in the back of your mind as we unpack exactly why it's such a game changer.
So why can that question be so ridiculously hard to answer honestly? Well, it's because most of the time we're totally in the grip of fear. It creates this kind of inertia, a force that just keeps you stuck exactly where you are, even when you know, deep down, you want something more.
And this, right here, this is the battle going on inside our heads, isn't it? On one side, you've got your reality now, staying in the same place. Maybe it's comfortable, or maybe it's just familiar. And on the other side, that's the bigger thing, the thing you actually dream about doing but are frankly too scared to even try. It's this constant tug of war, right? Between safety and what could be.
This quote just hits the nail on the head. The problem isn't the first step itself. The real fear comes from our brain fast-forwarding, like 10 miles down the road, and imagining every single potential disaster that could possibly happen. We get so wrapped up in what might go wrong that we never even get started.
And check this out. This is fascinating. This chart basically shows you where all your mental energy is going. Look at that huge chunk for projected negatives. It's massive. It completely dwarfs that tiny little sliver for the first step. It's no wonder we feel stuck. This right here is how that cycle of doing nothing gets built.
Okay, so that's the problem. But what's the solution? How do we break out of that cycle? Well, there is a way. And spoiler alert, it has nothing to do with getting rid of fear. It's all about learning a new way to think. So here's the big mental shift you have to make. The problem isn't the fear itself. I mean, come on, fear is a normal human feeling. It's gonna be there. Trying to pretend it doesn't exist, that's a battle you're gonna lose every time. So the feeling of being scared isn't really the issue.
The real problem is the kinds of questions you're asking yourself. If your internal monologue is just a loop of, what if I fail? Or what's the worst that could happen? You're setting yourself up to only focus on the negative. Those questions lead you right back to that paralysis.
And that's why we come back to this question. See, it's not just some nice idea to think about. It's an actual tool. A tool designed to cut right through all of those negative what-ifs and get you straight to the core of what you really, truly want.
Because when you ask this question, what you get is something we're calling the unfiltered answer. It's your real goal, pure and simple, without all the layers of self-doubt and excuses we usually pile on top. It helps you see that bigger thing clearly, maybe for the first time.
Okay, so you've done the mental work, you ask the question, you have your unfiltered answer, so now what? Well, this next part is the most critical piece of the puzzle, turning that clarity into actual real-world action.
Now, before we get to the steps, I want these two ideas to really sink in. First, you can do anything you want. And second, you are bound by nothing. And look, I know that can sound like a cheesy motivational poster, but it's true. The only thing really holding you in place is that fear-based thinking we've been talking about. So let's break those chains.
And the process for breaking free is actually really simple. It's just 3 steps. First, acknowledge the fear. Don't fight it, just name it. Yep, I'm scared. Second, use the tool. Ask yourself, what would I do if I weren't afraid? Get that unfiltered answer. And third, this is the big one. You act. You take the leap.
And this right here, this is everything. You know that feeling, right? When your stomach drops and every single instinct in your body is screaming at you to back away? Well, that is not a stop sign. That feeling is the signal. It's telling you that you're right on the edge of something important. That is your cue to jump. Because that moment, the moment you jump despite the fear, that's what shatters the inertia. It's what finally breaks that cycle of just staying in the same place your whole life. That single decisive action is the bridge between the life you have and the life you actually want.
Which, of course, brings it all back to you. You've heard the idea, you've seen the process, so what's that unfiltered answer for you? And more importantly, now that you know that feeling of fear is actually the starting gun, what's your first step?